Hello, folks, and welcome back to welcome back to Antioch Remastered. Yeah, sorry, I have different intros to things. Starting a session, after leaving, coming back, what do I say here? And I keep getting them confused. Anyway, the Antioch Chronicles, Episode 2, Prologue, The Sundering. Of discovering the Kel-Morian Combine's psionic experiments on Charlie and Mox decided to do some research. Upset at what he uncovered, he once again left the group's employ. He and Gurney journeyed to Ire, where they aided Judicator Termalis in his assault on the Psi Cocoon. They also began construction on a space station in orbit, to which they now welcome Judicator Termalis. And let me get back into the game. I was thinking, for some reason, I'd out-tabbed the game. I was on exploit.
Adjutant online.
Oh yeah, voice acting.
Good evening, Captain. I have an incoming transmission from the commander. Patching you in.
G'day, mate. Nice to see you can make it on such short notice. Been a long while. Too long, if you ask me. But we'll have plenty of time to catch up once you're on the station. Now, if you'll forgive the rough edges, we've already set up all your accommodations, so don't worry about a thing. Oh, one last note before you touch down. I'm expecting a few Protoss visitors. Nothing big, I just invited them to check the place out, since we're in their space. At any rate, looks like you're about to dock, so I better tell Gurney to expect you. Just don't step on any toes while you're here, and you should be fine. See you in 2. Opt out.
Transmission ended. Landing sequence complete. Awaiting orders.
Oversee the inception of Mox's latest project. All heroes must survive. Guessing the person Mox was talking to was Rockwell.
G'day, mates. Welcome to New Brisbane Station, my little corner of heaven, now that hell's frozen over. Right now, we're still in the heavy stages of construction.
I see your time has been well spent.
Well, I figure since I'm not going to work for Minx,
I've just seen that name floating around.
Can't go back to the Combine.
I come this
I'll
level.
set up shop right here in case you need a favor sometime.
We appreciate your generosity, Commander.
Oh, don't mention it. Feel free to stick around while we get this place up and running. The next load of SCVs should be due in about, 20 minutes, with a dropship full of resources.
This can't be good.
What? What is it?
You're not gonna believe this.
Base is under attack.
Attack.
No worries.
What is it now?
Damn it.
Commander, our position has been discovered.
Yeah, you're a real master of the obvious. What the hell was that all about? I thought we took care of the Kel-Morians a couple days ago down on the planet.
Looks like they got some reinforcements, man.
They didn't take out the dropships, did they?
No, since they're still showing on the way. Probably about to land, actually.
Yep, here's Rockwell. I've seen that name float around. I think he's in episode 3 as well. Ah, Born Marine.
What the hell is this Rockwell hears about a Combine squadron on the way? No squadron, man. We just got hammered by a winged race. Well, you know, if the most electrifying siege tank pilot in the sector had been on the station... Man, shut up. And McFly, what the hell did I tell you about blasting that progressive rock crap in your cockpit? Listen, since you're in charge of Rockwell's paycheck, the Grey One's gonna cut you a break today. So why don't you make like a tree and know your damn role?
Hey, Gurney, looks like you're not the only one here who needs to know his role. Is this your idea of keeping the troops in line?
Mason's harmless. Thinks he's a general, but he's generally just on an ego trip. You just gotta get to know him. He gets the job done. Hell, he should. He didn't come cheap.
You trying to tell me you actually hired a guy who refers to himself in the third person?
Hey, jabroni. Rockwell heard that.
I was expecting something
Why
different.
does it not surprise me? Hey, wait, I'm getting something.
I was expecting someone else with the name Rockwell. I don't know why I was expecting. I know I started imagining. Well, it was probably partly due to the trailer they have for episode 3. I was expecting grizzled detective, you know, kind of aesthetic. Yeah, folks, I've been rather frustrated with something, but I wanted. I don't feel right saying it here. I just feel wrong. So let me. Of course, I'd have to reset. I'll fix that in a moment. I was just trying to leave a little note for myself to edit it, but it just got stuck at edit. I wanted to edit and then some details so I remember.
This in the first place.
Well, Rockwell feels like this. Since the station's on standby power only, and Gurney's keeping a tight lid on transmissions, sounds to Rockwell like someone here planted a homing beacon. If you smell what Rockwell is cooking.
Hate to say it, but I have to agree with him. Looks like we got a snitch on board.
Sergeant Rockwell? General? You're damn right. Yeah, listen, have the men conduct a search of the station. Find the bug. You don't need Mole on board. Whatever you say, jabroni.
Commander, we are prepared to aid in the defense of this platform.
Oh, it's nice. They're actually working in buildings.
It's much appreciated.
Nice little detail.
Our allies are being attacked.
Damn it, I would like to go repair that stuff, but I have no resources. We'll be getting some soon enough, once that dropship comes in. I can save the beacon at least. No, let's save it. Actually, I won't need it for these. These will be fine.
In the pipe, bye.
And this might be it. Yes!
Reporting for duty.
Sure. It's just kind of weird they just bring in and drop the crystals, but sure.
Not enough minerals.
Our SCVs, our allies are being attacked.
Damn it. Oh, I've lost that. Down here.
Reporting for duty. Good to go, sir. Affirmative. Orders received.
That could be it. Is that it?
Room secure, sir. This room's clear. Check that out. Guess what this little Rudy Goo found in Mox's cabin?
My cabin?
A transmitter. It's a homing beacon. Candy Ass is a traitor. Hey, Charlie, come on. Did you plant this?
What the? Of course I didn't.
Yeah, okay. Rockwell might say the same thing himself if someone had accused him.
Guys, anyone gonna back me up here?
He's whacked. I vote we frag this commander.
Look, man, I hate to say this, but why don't you take some time off? Leave the station for a while until we can get this cleared up.
I can't believe this. I can't believe you'd actually think I'd plant that bug.
Hey, Charlie, I'll get to the bottom of this, man. Don't worry about it.
Alright, fine. I'll just get my men and get ready to leave. Whoever's coming with me, pack your things. Captain, why don't you stay here? Keep an eye on things.
That shouldn't be a problem. Hey, wait a sec. What's this?
Receiving emergency transmission.
Understood. Forgive me, Commander. I wish you well, but I must depart.
You know what? I think me and the captain will tag along. Rockwell, you make sure Charlie gets off the station okay and that he gets everything he wants. I'll contact you when we're done on the planet. The Grey One would be happy to.
Maybe the next time we meet, it'll be under better circumstances.
Indeed. Come on, let's get the lead out.
I was kind of expecting to get to control Rockwell there, but it wouldn't make sense for Mox to plant a beacon on its own station. Makes sense. Obviously, someone else is after planting it. Obvious. New Brisbane forces. Oh, fantastic. Quit. I'll force up the launcher, and then I go into next mission. Oh yeah, to be honest, I was blurring it. Originally, I thought these had the same amount of missions. But no, this does have an extra one because prologue. Cool. Not sure why you would want to do that. Something bothering me now, but moving on. Just remember what I was editing out. Yeah, that's just itching in my head right now. It's annoying. The Temple Jepok houses records stretching back millennia. Hey folks, sorry about the abrupt cut there. Basically, you know the tank music, that was concerning me. I never got a straight answer about whether or not there's copyrighted music in this. I asked on the SC2 Mapster page, but the guy he said no, and then when I pointed out there was some music on StarCraft, he kind of just kept being evasive. He wouldn't answer my question as to what was in it. So I was just here checking, and I realized they actually did pistol lines for the characters. They did, you know, the whole range of lines that you get from Blizzard? Yeah, they did a whole range for them. So let's take a look. The amount of effort, detail to this is incredible.
Let's party. Gurney here, find me a target. Let's party.
2 for Gurney.
Hello? Yeah, what's up there, Charlie? Yeah, what do you say there, Flapjack? Up, McFly, your shoes untied. Up, don't be so gullible, McFly. You got the police say something nice, though, McFly. You wanna have your car towed all the way to your house and all you got for me is light beer? Hello?
Okay.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Gurney here, find me a target. Yup, go ahead, HQ. I'm up for anything. Yup, go ahead, HQ. It's Miller time. Let's party.
And
Sounds good. Too easy. Let's party.
Christ, there's a few here. And I have no idea. I see Rockwell's lines here, and I'm not looking, but yet.
I do it with pride.
Corellian Corsair?
What is your wish?
Corellian.
I do it with pride.
This isn't someone we met yet. Moloch. Mox. We'll ignore the others. We haven't met those characters at all.
You call that a knife? Mox here, what's the plan? You call that a knife? Mox here, what's... Come to Tasmania, come to Tasmania. To speak Australian. Jay's fries, please. No rules, just right. You call that a knife? What's the story? Mox here, what's the plan? Got a smoke, mate? Got a smoke, mate? Yeah, go ahead. Mox here, what's the plan? No worries. Now that's a bonzer idea. Alright, let's move it.
There's also apparently a character called Trench. Okay, I shouldn't have clicked on them. I found out a bit about them. But yeah, it's... Oh... Rockwell. Mox? Okay. I'm finding spoilers out plenty looking at this. And if you actually have type in Protoss in here, you actually find one here. Protoss need more gas, more minerals, more energy, more food.
You must construct additional pylons. You must construct additional pylons.
Huh. Same one down twice. Interesting. Oh, I'm not sure if I've ever heard Dark Archon Pistons.
Must consume, or oblivion will take us. A doom safety, darkness overpowering. Must consume.
Okay, we apparently get to meet Jepok here. Music. Okay, this is actually helpful. Okay, apparently there's two different victory musics. Protoss Evil, Protoss Heroic. I saw that before, but forgot about the tool right now. It's all StarCraft music. Deadly Roulette is Trench's team. Blue Sizzle is Nanot's Darren's team. Can't actually play it for some reason. Odd. But yeah, apparently that's all the music in this. Or at least all that's added here is music. Also, apparently there's Zerg Christmas music. It's from the actual game. Okay, it won't play though. So yeah, there's Halloween music. Will this play? I like it. I really do. I actually really like that. That's from the game. It's Tango the Necromancer. It's called, apparently. Or no. Maybe it's a Cursed Hollow Tree Virtual Choir converted. Nah, it's Tango the Necromancer sounds better. There's just two names to it here in the asset/music/this. So asset/music/that. First name, second name. So, But yeah, it's probably just Um. So just so another spyware. Probably just game music that I just don't recognize. There's plenty.
Rockwell's laying the smackdown. Shut your mouth and know your damn role. Get your candy ass out of the way. Whatever you say, jabroni. Shut your mouth and know your... What do you need, jabroni? Rockwell here. Don't take up too much of the Great One's time. You better know your role. Rockwell here. Why don't you take a hike, jabroni, and leave me alone? Well, you see, Rockwell feels like this. Rockwell's gonna raise the people's eyebrow. He's gonna climb the corporate tank. And he's gonna lock your monkey ass down if you smell what Rockwell is cooking. Why don't you take a hike, jabroni, and leave me alone? Well, you see, Rockwell feels like this. Hey, jabroni, Rockwell needs some help here. Well, since mom, baby... Ah! Rockwell's under attack here. Hey, jabroni, Rockwell needs some help here.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's clear they had so much fun making this. It's fantastic. Still paranoid as fuck, though. Huh. Can't get that to play. Oh, here, let's see Corrin's piss lines.
Cry havoc, and let's slip the dogs of war. It is a good day to die. A warrior has no need for talk. Get this patah away from me. Cry havoc, and let's...
Actually, I think that's a character we haven't seen yet. Here's Nanot. Okay, that's not playing.
You can choose a ray guide in some celestial voice. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. You can choose from phantom fears and kindness that can kill. We will choose a path that's clear. We will choose free will. You can choose a ray guide in some celestial voice.
Very hard to understand. That's Nanot and Tadarin, and they seem to also have separate lines. Maybe we'll get a flashback. Seriously, detailed. I was not expecting pissed lines. Like all the other custom campaigns I did, it just had the default lines for them. This is seriously detailed. No wonder it's had such a mainstay, and like apparently it did influence custom campaigns. It had a big influence on, you know, fan production, you know? Yeah, I can see why. That's off to him. There's also his apparently a character called Anduin. Huh. Cerberus. What indeed? I'm just looking at the files within the mod. Yeah, it's probably just music I just don't recognize. There's plenty of stuff here within StarCraft I'm not actually versed in. I wasn't intending to have you here with me for this little thing, but I ended up finding little bits of audio to show you. So yeah, seems good.
Da 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 down, da 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 down. I'm about to drop the hammer and dispense some indiscriminate justice. What is your major malfunction?
Beautiful. I kind of wish they stuck with the more, I don't know, finding like later StarCraft, especially obviously when you change expansions, but that makes sense. They dropped the like so southern theme to it. I like that. You know, that was nice. Like, you know, early StarCraft, it was very, I don't know, it had a southern twang to it. And they didn't give Max nearly enough lines. He's got a fantastic southern drawl. I love his voice. But he did not get nearly enough lines. Nearly enough. And actually, the Phoenix came back in Brood War, didn't he? So yeah, it makes sense why he was saying that Antioch was the former home of Praetor. I just said his name, Phoenix. I was thinking it's Draco. No, that's not. Well, I've done what I can. Let's just reopen this. Okay, where is it? Here it is. Episode 2, open. The Malice and company tend to an urgent situation at the Temple of Jepok. So yeah, as you can guess, this episode will be made longer than normal to compensate for the fact I spent the first 15, nearly 16 minutes here looking at this. And again, not something I'd intended on doing, but something that ended up happening. Just because, like I said, I found all those lines. I wanted to just show the level of detail there is to the game. Because you don't really have an opening in a mission to do it. It's always something's happening. You don't really have the time and the leeway to stop and check, you know? Maybe during the mission where, you know, it was just us going through the base with the Zerg in it. You know, as mocks, you know? I could have checked then if I thought of it, but I didn't. Again, I'm not used to being custom voice lines to this degree, or custom voice lines at all. So I just didn't think of it. But yeah, I'm still paranoid about the tank music. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see. Hey folks, I'm a Muppet. I'm gonna have to use, I'll be using the start of that set, I think. But okay, let me start again. I made a mistake. After I ended the opening bit where I did the prologue, I did a few attempts, then I recorded some lines, as you've heard from the different characters, as well as just checking for the audio. By mistake, I was going to like swap the windows around at one stage, but I forgot I'd unticked the game capture thing, like that. So you stop seeing the game. Then I played for another hour and a half, and that was all wasted. So, yeah. All completely wasted. At least I now know what to do on the missions, but I wasted an hour and a half of play. Yeah, I was loading up the next map here. Well, the map 2 for you. I was going to continue it, but I can't be bothered. Well, I'll do it quicker this time round. I'm just I'm not in the mood to go redo it right now. I'll do it again tomorrow. But yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. But yeah, this episode will be that bit longer to compensate for how long the intro there was. It being visionless doesn't matter, but I will, you know, I will compensate for it being so short. it being visionless doesn't matter. So I'll. What am I even trying to say? Sorry. Sometimes I say things. Well, that's not what I meant. My mouth just gets away from me. I don't have the gift of the gab. The gift of the gab has me. But yeah, I'm going to become this set here, but I'll just attach on a bit of the next set to it to compensate for how this set went. Part of me is tempted to just not using this set at all, but there was funny lines in there and shit that you weren't going to get to hear, so... Well, probably not anyway. So, yeah, I may as well use that early bit. But yeah, I'm going to go play something else for a little bit. Just get the taste of failure out of my mouth. Hello folks, and welcome back to Antioch Remastered. Well, as you heard there in the last bit, I stopped recording because I was worried about the music in the tank. I tried to find it in the editor. And as you saw, I never did. I actually did just earlier, but it was part of the guy's tank files. You know, basically there's two versions of that character Rockwell. I found him just on that that level's version of him. There's one in the mod, then one just for that level. Well, not just for that level, but one's in the mod, one's level specific, and he's that music blaring only in those audio files. From what I've heard so far, I haven't checked the later on levels, obviously. But yeah, it's part and parcel of the audio files, so I can't figure out the song anyway. But it's presumably fine. It's presumably just more in Computech. It just didn't sound like in Computech to me. Like, it sounded different. Like they'd taken, you know, someone else, like a different guy's music, you know? But anyway, I had the initial idea when I'd stopped my recording, before I'd started doing that recording, of showing you how the editor works to a limited extent. Like, I don't know much about it, just like, here's a cool little thing, you know, like, here, you can see the map here, you know, whatever. You end up seeing. And I ended up, like, hitting off the game capture button, and was going to turn on the window one, but I decided against it. But I forgot to retick the game capture thing, so you couldn't see anything for the next like hour and a half. Basically, that's what I'm getting at. I fobbed up when I was going to show before I did that editor bit, and yet I ended up wasting an hour and a half of recording time. Did 3 levels. No, I did 2 levels and I was on to my 3rd, and I have to re-record it all. Yeah. Not sure if you have vision when I get into this, but and I can't, if I hit any key, it will continue. So I'm just going to read this and hope you can see it. If you can't, you'll probably, once I start clicking in the game, you'll probably will be able to. The Antioch Chronicles, Episode 2, Negative Suns, Embers of Jepok. Oh, what I said there a moment ago made sense. Basically, when I was going to show you the editor, how, you know, some of the editor and whatnot, like what I'm seeing, but I ended up deciding against it. I was deciding for it on a whim and decided against it on a whim. But I ended up forgetting to re-ticketing so you could actually see the game. So I ended up wasting a ton of footage, and it's so frustrating. But I had difficulty on the mission 2. This is mission 1. Difficulty mission 2, I got kind of lost. I didn't see it turn off and had some issues. But but I know of it now, so I can rush through it a bit. Embers of Jepok. Legends say that centuries ago, Jepok led Protoss forces against a mad adjudicator before withdrawing to seclusion and constructing his temple. Whatever the truth is may never be known, as the archives were badly damaged by the Zerg. Only rival first Nanot, Tateron, and then Koron and Narok saved the temple from complete destruction. While little is now left to stand in peril again. Judicator Tremalius now races to its defense, accompanied by Dale Garvey and his forces, we race against time to save the temple. that to me implies that they never actually read the contents of the temple, because the temple has apparently stood for millennia. It contains records stretching back millennia. It's like it's stood for centuries. They also don't seem like, but they don't know the truth of the thing. Even though the temple probably contained, even though the archives within the temple contain that knowledge. That to me implies that they haven't actually cracked the temple open to read it, or they still haven't actually fully scoured the archives of it. It's a very strange thing, you know? They're trying to build up mystery here, but I don't know. It just seems odd. You know, because they're going on about the importance of the building and, you know, how, like, important it is for the area and knowledge and wisdom and all this, and yet they don't know half the fuck that's in it, apparently. You know, I figured they'd have scholars poring over every book for centuries, you know? But apparently not. Apparently they just have one guy going in every weekend. It's just called Frank Toss. And yeah, he's a lovely guy, but very slow in his work. But yeah, apparently the temple was built centuries ago and all this, and it has the records of that time. And apparently they never bothered to actually go read those records. And now it's too fucking late, apparently. That just seems odd to me. That just seems odd to me. But again, oh.
Captain, we have little time. Set a transport beacon in the middle of your party. I shall locate a safe landing zone near Nurok's forces and warp in the rest of our group on the planet's surface. Go and prepare your troops.
Oh yeah, I'll be making this episode longer to compensate for, you know, the little bit with the editor. Save the temple Jepok from destruction, all heroes must survive. And I might go back into the editor later on to show you other audio files from different characters. Because it's just like easier because there's so much fuck going on. It's really hard to.
We must be swift. Zeratul and Alteris have ordered the evacuation of Tyre. But there are still warriors stranded here in Antioch. Sensors show that the Zerg will reach the temple in less than 2 minutes. And where is Namath Paradun? I do not know, but he has vanished. Very well. Let us move quickly. To the temple.
Don't know why he left the ship, but sure. I can't remember what I was saying, but yeah, I'll be making this longer to compensate for the... oh yeah, I moved on from that. I was saying, you don't really have time in missions to sit there clicking on people. The missions, too much tends to be happening. The only good ones are the micro missions where you're like casually going through the tunnels, like remember with Mox. You have the time then, but not otherwise. So it's just easier to do within the editor. And other times I just don't have the patience. Sadly, the Zerg... But... What? Also, he's on foot now. Ah, lost the Zealot. Normally I save him, but normally I'm quicker off the bat with this. I'm meant to be seeing what's happening to the temple. But yeah, the Zerglings are already there. You can't reach it. Well, I did first time through. I did stop and try and like maybe I can reach it this time. But no, best you can do is get there. Maybe you can rush to it, but I question what state you would be if you did.
So, this is what your arrogance has cost us. Identify yourself. Who are you?
Initially I thought it was Jepok coming out of his temple.
A former student of the Templars Zenoth and Tyrant. And where is the mighty Archon? Apparently tending to more pressing business, overseeing the construction of a new temple in the province of Sion, amid the rubble. Sion? So where'd all the Zerg come from? I thought this place was clean. Hardly. Our incursion against the Zerg near the Teros mudflats only crippled the broods nesting in the heart of Antioch. While several of our neighboring tribes have been bolstered by our efforts, the majority of Ire is little more than a playground for the Zerg, who run unchecked in the absence of the Overmind or any controlling Cerebrates. There may be one exception. Oh? A single Cerebrate. I have felt its presence to the west, in a canyon infested by the abominations. If my instincts serve me well, this may be the Cerebrate responsible for the Cyclone and the attacks on your province shortly after the death of the Overmind. So what's the situation now? What of the other provinces? Most of your brethren on this world have fled through a warp gate, which Preto Phoenix and the Terran known as Raynor have stayed behind to safeguard. I have seen their forces. They will hold for the time being. Aside from a few other scattered settlements and outposts, we are the only remaining survivors on Ire. This temple, this paradise, was the last of Jepok's legacy. It pains me to see it left in ruins. But if the Cerebral responsible for the psionic dampening field is still directing its forces against us, I believe we will have no choice but to gather the knowledge salvaged from the archives here and retreat, like the rest of your brethren, to Shakuras. What's it? Shakuras, the homeworld of my brethren. Your brethren? The Dark Templar. He doesn't get out much. Director, if we are to begin an evacuation, we must do so with haste. Sensors show that the next Wayland Zerg will reach our position within 10 minutes. There are still a number of Templar being held by the Zerg already in the area. Very well. Captain, send for an extraction team. We will need to leave your station as soon as the last refugee has been rescued. Don't bother. I already took the liberty of sending for help. Now let's just find those survivors and get the hell out of here.
And we get some Dark Templar. I still don't get the whole Dark Templar held captive by Zerg. The Zerg aren't exactly known for taking captives. You know?
Certainly. If I must.
I presume he got out of his ship just so you can rush him over here to defend the temple. Because the Zerglings wouldn't be able to do anything to him. And he could just easily just massacre them all. Hold it by himself. Oh.
What is it now? I am listening.
Gives everyone 100 shields. Just Protoss, it seems. Wait, he's chain healing? Has he always had chain healing? Let's float over here. Move back. No, I didn't want you to... Damn it. New. Quit and rewind. Status bar dummy? What? Group up.
Of
Group up.
If I must. Certainly.
You know, if I should have realized he had. Oh, that's a Yoden Queen. Huh. You know, I'm kicking myself if I didn't realize on the micro mission with him that he had healing, because that would have been damn handy. There's 2 bars here, and that's annoying me. Okay, if we just run around here.
You have a request. Of course.
Standing by.
Okay, everyone this way. Over here. Follow.
What is it now? I am listening.
And just rush for this. And that's kind of cool. Even if someone's late, they can still just, if they just hit here, they'll be just picked up anyway. Not that it really has any impact on anything. New Brisbane. Fantastic. Also, just look at the credits. Ruben did so many characters. Charlie Mox, Malleus, Dale Gurney, Nurok, Korun, Xenon with Zexon, whoever, we haven't seen him yet. Quato, Trent, Trench Aster, Nana Teradon, Crowley, Krillin, various Marines and civilian extras. It's tons. You haven't seen, I can't remember if I've seen them. I have seen them in Trench. But yeah, most of these are new to us, but yeah. Oh, and actually, they did all the voice acting in episode 1. They just don't go into details of the exact ones they did, because they did them all. Anyone that was, not a StarCraft, line was just done by him. I can't remember if there was actually any like that in the first episode. There is here in the next mission, but I can't remember if that was the case for the first one. Planetfall, if you're looking for an infiltration expert. But yeah, just basically, I'm just really impressed with it all. Like, they did a really good job with it. The voice acting and everything. It's like, I can see why this was such a big, custom campaign to come out. Like, it's really well done. Of course, I'm not seeing their original work. I'm just seeing people's remaster of it later on. But still, I like to think that you could still see their passion coming through in it, if you get me. If you're looking for an infiltration expert, the name Trench quickly rises to the top of your list. Ooh, excuse me. A freelance operative, he made his debut several years ago with a daring operation to take down the Epsilon Syndicate. Since that time, Trench has made a name for himself as the go-to man for the hardest jobs. These are exactly the skills that Charlie Mox needs. Ejected from his own space station after being framed as a traitor, his only hope to clear his name is to have Trench break back into New Brisbane and find the truth. First, he has to survive the seedy spaceport of Bora Dallas, and where he's short on friends and long on gambling debts. People in Borodals watch too many movies.
Well, isn't this just peachy? I can't believe I just got kicked off my own damn station. Alright, men. Set a course for the Tornado system. I'm gonna find out who framed me, but I can't do it alone. Now, I've got wind of a guy they call Trench. He's supposed to be good, real good at what he does. Last I heard, he seemed pretty fond of the seedier spaceports, so Boredalis should be our first stop. Now, everybody try to keep a low profile. Let's not have a repeat of what happened last time we were there. Alright, Johnny? Come on, let's get going.
Find the ghost named Trench. All heroes must survive.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to reach Mango Meridian. Last transmission, break it up and come back. Crocky, listen, what about Xenon? Is he there? Xenon, you owe me money. This is Borno.
This is Xenon of Borodale's control. Do not deviate from your present flight plan.
Hey! Damn it, I should have known that Borno crap wouldn't work. This is Commander Charlie Marks, requesting clearance to land. Here to pick up parts and supplies on our way to Core Hall. Come on.
Unidentified craft, you are cleared to land at Docking Bay 94.
Go ahead, man. Thank you.
Isn't Docking Bay 94 a Star Wars reference? Also, I don't know. There's tons of references here. I just don't recognize them.
For your safety and convenience, we ask that you please refrain from bringing any personal firearms, artillery, or weapons of mass destruction on the main concourse. Thank you.
Oh, crap. Be careful, boys. I don't suppose they'll just let us walk right through customs like this. What do you think, mates? Sir, I'm not sure you know what you're doing. I know I don't know what I'm doing, Private. That's what keeps me on my toes.
Avoid opening fire and wall-biting spaceports visitors or personnel. And personnel making unprovoked attacks is a surefire way to get arrested. Unprovoked. That's important. But yeah, there's I think I'll back there with references. Remember the McFly bit on the previous thing? That was a reference. The only McFly I can think of is Back to the Future, but yeah. I just don't know, like, which, you know, how exactly that would be a reference to, you know, Back to the Future, you know? Or unless just simply the name itself wasn't meant to be enough. I've only seen the first movie of that series, and I don't remember too much of it. But yeah, Docking Bay 94 is a Star Wars reference. There's another one coming up here. And from that shot earlier, did actually do damage. Okay, concealed weapons, most illegal narcotics, and off-world vegetables we shot and find. That's funny.
Yeah, the old man just whacked off his arm and he and the kids scrammed out of here.
What about those guys over there? You there, halt! Let me see your papers.
Oh, hold the haggis there, laddie. You don't need to see his papers.
We don't need to see your papers.
These aren't the boys you're looking for.
These aren't the boys we're looking for.
They can go about their business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Thanks, I think. How'd you do that?
Oh, I saw it in a movie once.
Really, the guy was scared of Scottish accent.
Idiots.
Name's Marks. Charlie Marks. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your
bar a few blocks up. Roger Wilco's.
Space quest.
Maybe one of the lads there can help.
I'm actually really paranoid about the bounty hunters. We don't need their scum line. It's just like, that is voice acted, right? They didn't decide to say that, you know, they didn't decide to just take that from Star Wars, did they?
Oh, I just had an idea. This at best be important. What is it you need? Is this how you address a superior officer? I'm willing to overlook it, but just this once. No, fine, twice. 3 times. Well, at least you seem to understand the principles of thorough scientific testing. You do know what the definition of insanity is, right? I am this close to filing a formal complaint to administration. Huh? Yes, I suppose that would be a poor idea. What are we doing? Shouldn't I return to my research? Science department responding. Yes?
I love the piss lines, and I know those are normal StarCraft ones. But I'm just so paranoid. Like, God, there's so much custom stuff here. What is safe? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. I can also get a medic, but oh, I can't hear that line without expecting to break into what's the story in Balamori. I'm just health having for a sec. Okay, BRB.